Hey, aloha, this is Ashtart, and this is a pick a card reading for health, personal health, and happiness. One of the cards in the Energy Oracle cards is, which is these here, is the door to healing and happiness, and I thought maybe I'll just do a reading that's centered on that for everybody. So I'm going to divide these up into 3 piles. This is the Stone Circle Oracle cards, and then we can pick whichever deck calls out to you that you think is going to be the right deck for you, and you can always pick another deck. You can pick multiple decks, you can watch the whole reading. Or if you have trouble focusing on which deck, I suggest just closing your eyes for a minute and then opening your eyes and looking at the first deck that calls out to you. So we have deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3, deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3 here. So go ahead and close your eyes if you need to. Focus on whichever deck or number is calling out to you, and I'll put the timestamps in the comment section below. 1, 2, 3. All right, if you're ready, we're going to go ahead and get started with deck number 1. Okay, so if you pick deck number 1, then here's the reading that I have for you. All right. Okie dokie doke. Okay, so for your personal health and happiness, we have Goddess of the Moon, Deceit, Second Chakra, Archangel Ariel. We have Isis and Nephthys, and we have Tubuan. I don't know how to pronounce that really. So let me look at this here. Okay, so for you guys that picked deck number 1, I'm seeing that, well, let me pick one more card, just like for the focus of, 2 more cards, focus of your health and happiness concern. Okay, so we have Man Holding a Heart and First Chakra, Archangel Michael. And so Man Holding a Heart is really saying your health and happiness is kind of around either wanting a masculine to kind of give you love, or you might be a masculine sort of energy and you need more love yourself. So there's kind of like masculine and like love energy going on there. And then we have the base chakra, which kind of says that this yearning desire for love is really strongly based in like wanting to belong, wanting to have a permanent home, wanting to have a permanent tribe, or even survival. It might feel like your actual health is declining because you don't really have the love that you need. And so we have these cards, the Nephthys and Isis, and the Tubuan cards. And these are both very magical cards. Isis was the goddess of magic, and Nephthys also was very connected to magic. And Tubuan is a card about diving into the deeper mysteries of life. So for some of you guys, this is kind of a strange message, but you might have actually been delving like too deeply into magic recently, too deeply into mysticism. And your guides are kind of saying it's time for you to pull back a little bit and not be so deeply involved in mystic arts. So that doesn't include, they're actually saying that doesn't include like readings like this, because I'm chanting a lot of like holy energy and like direct guide energy, but specifically like occult energy, Egyptian magic. Not everything that's mystical is like treated the same, right? You can do like holy stuff that channels the god, goddess energy, and energy of the planet also is very holy, so like earth magic. But you can also channel like demonic energies and occult mysteries, and it's not necessarily evil, but it's very difficult energy. And so if you've been dealing with just very like things that kind of take you out of your depth, it doesn't have to be magic either, but it can be they're saying like mysteries that are really challenging you, you might want to step back from those things a bit. So the second chakra archangel Ariel card is saying that it's really going to be really important for you to focus on your health, which is the point of this reading, right? But your health is also connected to your pleasure, your desire, kind of trying to have fun more often. You might feel a lot of pressure to show up for a lot of people, which makes you feel like you can't fully have love on your own that just belongs to you. Like, kind of, someone might be telling you it's selfish to be loved. I'm hearing that for some people. Or you might be feeling that you can't focus on yourself, basically. Like, you have to kind of sacrifice yourself for your community of family members, maybe children or other people that aren't actually giving you pleasure, but that it's really important for you to focus on your own pleasure. And then we have this Deceit card, which is kind of also enforcing that idea that there are people around you that are really strongly invested in you being of service to them. And they'll kind of lie to you, unfortunately. And this isn't going to sound true at first, because when they tell you, like, oh, I need you, I need this, or whatever, it sounds very like, oh, well, obviously you wouldn't ask me if it wasn't true. But the guides are asking you to search deeper into your heart, because some of these demands and requests that people are making are actually false. And they're doing it to be very selfish, and it's not really coming from a place of need. So really, like, kind of examine what's actually going on around you, and kind of try to stay away from, like, all the mysteries and things that get you out of your depth for right now. And you will have that love, you will receive that love, so stay strong. And I hope that this is helpful to you. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and hit me up, and I'll see how else I can be of service. Talk to you later. If you picked deck number 2, here's the reading I have for you. Okay. So we have cornucopia, the sun, strategy, and set. Okay. All right, so if you picked deck number 2, there's like 2 messages going on here, because we have all this really beautiful energy. Cornucopia is like abundance and harvest, and just like you made it, you succeeded. Your harvest is coming in, and the sun is like everything really beautiful and amazing is happening to you now, and the sun is like beaming down on you and just illuminating everything. You see how she's like bathing and just surrounded by all these whimsical creatures, and life is really interesting and fun for her. So not only are you able to have your harvest, but you're also able to be very blessed. And the message I'm getting is that these are energies that are in your life. You might not feel fully connected to it. You might be moving towards it. You might have recently come into some of it, and it's still building upwards. It will become more and more and more. So your guides are saying really persist, keep doing what you've been doing, keep on your path, keep going. And they're also pointing out this one is a 2 and this one is a 1. So it's almost like, there's just a lot of ones going on, 11, 1, 111. And that's also a sign to you to keep working, keep being positive, keep being beautiful, keep doing what you've been doing that has been bringing you all this amazing energy. If you have been, some of you haven't, and your guides are saying, you should definitely form a strategy to bring this energy into your life. And this is something that they want you to have for your health and happiness. If you have this energy, you're also encouraged to create like more of a deep strategy, or to bring also other people into your strategy. Like this feather is kind of like a writing pen or writing quill for writing in this journal, and your guides are saying then there's a 7-pointed star in the middle. So your guides are saying it's time to build in other people into your dream, build in other people, and that will expand your happiness and that will expand your health as well, because you'll have all this wonderful new energy coming into you that's connected to like letters you've written to people, messages you've sent to people to ask them to help you or ask them to join you in what you're doing. And then we have Set, which says that the message I'm hearing specifically is that for every good deed we do, there's always someone in the shadows that kind of wants to oppose us. And that's not to discourage you or to make you afraid. That's just to prepare you that, you know, there are challenges that come when you do great things, when you create great things. People will also come to challenge you, and it's not because they hate you, it's not because they're evil, it's because you're creating something that they don't want to be in the world. Think about it. If what you wanted was something other people already wanted, like really badly, they would have created it, and they haven't. And that's not to say that, you know, what you're creating is not needed. Of course it's needed. That's why it's in your soul and in your heart, or whatever you've done, whatever you're doing, the work you're doing, or who you are is needed, you know. But even that being said, it disrupts the status quo, and it's good to disrupt the status quo, but it will be challenged. So just be prepared for that. Your guides want you to know, okay, Fallen Muse. I knew this was going to be a kind of a dark card, but which is why I hesitated pulling it over. But so they're just saying, okay, this is a good message. They're saying that whatever has hurt you in the past will be burned away, actually, by you doing your work, pursuing your harvest, you know, creating this strategy so that you can bring all this beautiful joy and love into your world. The more that you focus on like creating this beautiful energy into your life, everything that hurts you is just burned away and just becomes like nothing, and then you're able to rise again. There's a lot of cards in this deck also that have the phoenix, and so I'm seeing that this person is going to be reborn and like a phoenix after all of this is burned away. So your darkness, everything, your shadows are going to disappear. Just keep doing your work, keep working on what beauty you bring into the world, and your health and your happiness and your prosperity are going to increase a whole lot. That's such a beautiful message, and I'm really happy for you to have gotten that message. I hope that helps you confirm some things, and I'll talk to you later. Alright, if you picked deck number 3, then here's the message I have for you. Okay. So we have yin yang, hostilities, indecision, and eagle. They're saying one more card from here. Diana. Okay, beautiful. So for your personal health and happiness, interesting. Because this is like a lot of interesting energy here, hostilities and indecision. The very first thing your guides are saying for all you guys who picked deck number 3 is that balance is super important to you. For you. Balance is super important for you. This is a balance of masculine, feminine energy. So that's a balance of doing and not doing. So like rest and action. And they're also saying this has been very difficult for you. But to keep working at it, you know, keep doing what you have to do to take rest when you need to take rest and take action when you have to take action. It's not that you can just rest on doing one thing constantly. It's a cycle, right? The yin yang is constantly cycling, going around and around and around. It's being tuned into your body, tuned into the energy of what's going on around you, tuning into the earth, tuning into everything that's happening, and figuring out when is this a good time for me to rest and when is this a good time for me to take action. So we have this hostilities card and this indecision card. So the hostilities card, well, 2 + 6 = 8, and then this card is also an 8, so it's like 2 8s, right? Which is also like, I'm seeing kind of like balance again. 8 for me is always kind of like a balance card, because on the side it looks like the infinity symbol, right? Which is that same like cycle going like this, is always like going back and forth and balancing itself out. Oops. So, and then the other thing is that there's like lots of trees too. Like these trees are kind of ominous, and these trees have lots of foliage on them. So for you guys to pick deck number 3, I'm seeing that this is like a hard message, like here. It's kind of like what they're trying to say is that you part of you is fighting against having balance, right? And this is preventing you from being in your full health and happiness. It's like you always want to be at action, or you always want to be at rest, or you also kind of allow the world to influence you a little bit too much sometimes. Like if someone comes from an outside source, which is why this is a difficult message to kind of channel, because it's kind of vague. But if someone comes from an outside source and they're like, I have an emergency, or this thing happened to Juki, or we need you to like go online and or maybe someone attacks you on the internet, or maybe something happens at work, you respond to it. You don't stay in your balance, which is not, saying, oh, what's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with you. But you're very receptive to things that are happening instead of staying in your core. And so then after you get out of your balance, then your guides are saying you also have a tendency to like stay in this state of indecision, which is also blocking your health and your happiness. Because, this person needs to kind of firmly make a decision to go down one path, and that will help them to be solid in every other aspect of their life. Everything will improve after they decide, like, here's who I am, here's what I'm doing, and not to be so like messed around with by other people, but really to be very solid in who they are and why they're here. This Eagle card is really saying it's safe for you to speak your truth, like very strongly. It's safe for you to speak your truth. It's safe for you to be in your full power, which it might not have always felt safe, which might be part of the reason why you're very receptive to other people, because sometimes it feels not safe to be who you truly are. But Eagle is saying it's safe for you to be in your power. It's safe for you to be who you really are and express your actual needs and desires and your thoughts to people. And if people don't like it, then, respond to that. Don't let people tell you how to think or what to be. And then this Diana card, the goddess of the moon, and she's also the goddess of the hunt. I have a beautiful sculpture of her here in this house that I'm at right now. But she's the goddess of the hunt. She's very solitary. Your guides are actually saying it's time for you to stop being so solitary, stop hunting alone. You've been very nocturnal as well, and your guides are saying try to stop being so nocturnal, try to stop being very awake at night to get back on like a regular sleep cycle where you're awake during the day, and maybe you feel more energized at night. And it's partially having to do with all that like angry energy where you're like very responding to other people's energy instead of staying in your own truth and your own balance. So like be strong in yourself and be strong in who you are, and that will kind of naturally lend itself to a normal daytime nighttime routine. If that doesn't resonate, or like if you do get good sleep, they're also saying that just like to be less solitary as well, that you've been very solitary. Or and a third message coming through for this same card is because I'm looking at this deer card really strongly, and what is that saying to me? It's saying like nature. It's hard to hear this message too. This whole part of the reading has been kind of hard to hear, but let me listen. You might want to do some nature work. You might want to do some conservation work. You might want to help out animals. Some kind of like balance thing again. Balance is coming up. And I just saw an image of like a hunter, like hunting a deer and then shooting the deer. And it was like at that moment, things went out of balance when the hunter shot the deer. So there might be something like that you've offended someone, or someone has offended you. It could be either. Someone has hurt someone else, and there's some balance that needs to come because of that. So if you're the party that has been hurt, to allow yourself to hear the truth, because you also don't want to hear it, because then you'd have to really take a decision. If you're the person who has hurt the other person, to apologize and talk to them about it, that will help a lot. Okay, I hope that helps you guys. Sorry, it was like a little all over the place. I'll talk to you later. Bye.